So today I just received a couple of containment mats, TruContain Containment mats from Garage Flooring LLC, and I'm gonna get them out and lay them down and do a little review. So a couple of things. I couldn't find any reviews on sites other than the vendor sites, and I was also curious about how tall the edges were. It wasn't listed. It sounded like they're very close competitors to Autofloorguard. Sounds like they may have copied that, but used heavier material. I haven't used any of them before, so this is my first experience, so it's tough for me to compare, but I'll talk about the quality of this one at least. I ordered two of them. One is the 9 by 20, and one is 7 feet 9 inches by 18 feet. Let's see what they look like. Oh. So once I got the boxes out, look like pretty sturdy packaging that they come in, and so here's the box open, and I did read the instructions on the box for installation. And it talks about cleaning the floors that you're going to put it on. It shouldn't be over rocks, dirt, nails, staples, etc. And that if it's cold, it may take longer to relax, etc. My garage floor is fairly clean. I went over it with a stiff bristled broom, brushed up all the dirt that I could, and swept it all out. It's cold outside, so I didn't want to get it really wet, but any of the big stuff is gone. It's pretty clean. I wouldn't eat off of it, but you know, it's an epoxy coated with flexive paint in it, so it seems like a good surface to lay this down on. It says to take it out, unroll it. It doesn't matter which side is left or right. The textured side should be up, and you should want to have it a few inches from the garage opening, which will work out about right. When I pull my cars into my garage, I kind of pull them in at an angle, so I'll have to see what that angle looks like. So it comes out of the box fairly easily. It's not packed in there overly tight, and they include a free squeegee, and it's the soft type of rubber, which I was curious about. I've got a bigger squeegee up here that I use just for the garage floor, and it doesn't always snug right up against the floor because it's a stiffer rubber, but this is a softer rubber with it's kind of folded in half, so there are two blades. I don't know if you can see, I'm sticking my thumb between them there. And a decent thing to throw in, kind of a clamp bracket to hook onto a pole there. I probably would have preferred a threaded one, but you can put a screw through it right there to secure it to a wooden pole easily enough. I've got plenty of those. I'll put that in the box and put it back here for now. It's tied on with just some nylon, I think it's nylon strap here. I'm kind of OCD about saving everything when something's new, so I try not to cut the packaging. Probably don't need to worry about it, but just in case, I try to keep all the packaging just how it was. This is interesting too, as I take the bag off and pull this out. It has these straps on it. These straps are made of the same material that I think the mat is made of, and you don't want to get anything sharp right up against this. My scissors would be fine, but they tied these with a bow that you can get a hold of one end and pull it and get it undone simply enough. Same on the other side. And on the other one, I actually just snuck just pulled it off the edge. It was close enough. I could pull it far enough that it just came off fairly easily. I don't know if you can see this texture, but this is the textured side. Hopefully you can see it in that light. You can also tell because the seams, well, you can tell there's been heat on this and it's kind of smooth on the edge. There's more of a seam on the other side. So I'll just unroll this. And we've got a lot of snow outside, but nothing on the cars. So interesting things to note. The material, if you've never felt it, which I never had and was having a hard time imagining what it's like. If you've ever been around one of the North Face really heavy duty duffel bags, the material is very similar to that. Coated nylon type of fabric. You can see the pattern in there. I don't have a ton of light in this garage, but it's very, very heavy duty material. The seams are on the bottom, and I looking at all the seams, they seem like they're done pretty well. I was curious about how tall these outside edges are. I've got some calipers here. I'm just going to see what this measures. It's about 1.2 inches, so close to 1 1/4, 1.15. Yeah, so close to 1.15 inches, so just over 1 1/8. I'm not sure what that translates to in terms of gallons per water spread over 9 by 20 feet, which I guess 180 square feet. But somebody I'm sure can do that math and figure it out. My garage is probably 50 degrees. It's not heated, but it's attached to the house, and it's enclosed, and so it's warmer than it is outside. But I imagine it'll just take a few days for this to relax. It says that on the instructions even. And I expect it to lay flat and the wrinkles to come out more easily tomorrow. I tried moving a broom across it. The thing that seemed to help the most was just putting my feet on it and put one foot against the edge and kind of pulling it and stretching it tight. It seemed the most wrinkly around the edges. But even doing that, it kind of just goes back to how it was. So I'll update in a couple of days and see how it's doing. So here we are, finished product, all laid out. I left a few inches up against the door, and we don't have a lot of snow on the cars right now. They're both sitting on my driveway. My wife drives a Toyota Sequoia. I drive a Honda Civic that's the two sizes here. So I just pulled the cars in on this, and there's not a lot of water to melt and drop, but just wanted to talk about my experience a little bit. I figure when you pull in, you don't want to be turning the steering wheel a lot once you get the front tires on the mat. But it's pretty easy with the mat laying there to line up the car. It's like a parking place, and if you know how to park in a parking place, it's not so bad. But this one ended up being a little bit long, which I knew because I like to pull this car in a little bit further and have a little bit more room. But the width seems just about right for this vehicle. Plenty of room in front and in back. And it looks like maybe I pulled this as I pulled in. The mat may have pulled away from the garage door a little bit. And it says that happens sometimes on the installation instructions, and if it does, to use double-sided carpet tape to tape the leading edge. I'm not sure that I'll do that. I'm guessing it did that because this edge wasn't laying down flat. And so, because it just hadn't warmed up and flattened out much, relaxed. So I'll wait a couple of days and see if I need to do that. This side, same thing for an SUV, plenty of width, and on the back, it may have pulled just a hair away also, but same thing. I'll just wait a couple of days and see how it works out. Other side is fine. I like to have enough room in the garage to open up the tailgate. If I pull it into where I normally park it, I didn't quite have enough room. The front was hanging over the edge a little bit, and I wanted to have enough room for snow to maybe slide down the front and flip off the front and land, you know, give it a couple of inches travel for it to land, and it's about straight down right there. I feel like it's good starting point. I did have to readjust the little laser pointer on the ceiling that shines on the dashboard on a spot so we know when to stop when we're pulling the car in, and just so it sits back in the garage. Just about 6 inches was all I needed to change it, which wasn't bad at all. And I'll give an update when I have more liquid on these. So just a quick update. It's been a little bit of time, and it hasn't warmed up higher than about 42 degrees. We haven't got a lot of snow that's needed to melt off, but there is a little bit of water that's dripped down. The edges haven't really had to contain it, but it seems like it's doing great. Pulling in hasn't been a problem. I have to, you know, kind of drag it around with my feet a little bit once in a while to straighten it out. It hasn't really laid flat. So here's one corner that doesn't seem to want to relax, and then this side I think even curled up a little bit more because it maybe got a little colder. But it seems to be working well. The one thing that has come to mind is it might be tough to get it to lay flat. You know, having it warm helps it lay flat. And the directions say to put it in the direct sun for a little bit, not very long, but a little bit to warm it up and to have it relax, or lay it out inside where it's heated. But the size makes it difficult in my house, at least, to lay it out flat. So I imagine if you put it out when it's a little bit warmer, that part would go more smoothly. But even like this, it seems to work fine. It's kept my garage floor clean, and it seems really durable. I haven't noticed anything anywhere. I'll turn it over where the tires rest and just take a look. It looks as good as new there. So seems like it's gonna last. So we finally got some snowy and cold weather here. So ice and snow built up on the vehicle and dropped off onto the mat. You can see there's some water down here at the bottom. It seems to be catching it great. Nothing has run over the edges. When you back over the lip at the end, that tends to let a little bit of water out, but it's pretty close to the door. Emptying it is as easy as sliding it down. My epoxied concrete there is a little bit slick to stand on while it's wet and pull the mat down. It was I kind of let it go a little long, and it had more water than this in it the first time I emptied it, and it was a little heavy to move. Once it was empty, it was really easy to slide back up, but you can see it contains everything really well. It still hasn't laid down completely. I don't know if you can see the edges kind of poking up in front of the other car over there at the top of the screen, but it's still doing the job fine, and sure is keeping our garage floor a lot cleaner, and have to give it a pass on the on the rating scale. or maybe even higher. It's great. I don't know about durability. It seems to do great. There's a lot of dirt and stuff on here that I thought would be good to clean it off at some point here soon, but doesn't seem to, haven't noticed any wearability issues, and it's working great. That's all.